So one of the things you want to make sure you do when you have an Etsy shop is make sure you have two things in your shop: seasonal items as well as evergreen products. It is so important to make sure that you are focusing equally on both of these categories. However, as an Etsy seller, it might be difficult identifying which products are in season, which ones are not in season, which ones are evergreen. So it's an easy way for you to figure out what things are selling right now and what things will be selling in the future. I'm going to share this easy, simple thing you can do right now to help you identify what type of things you need to be selling in your shop. I'm going to teach you all this right now. If you want a quick step of how to make passive income online, check out my link down in my description box below. I teach you exactly how to focus on products that would drive sales for your shop. And so check out my link if you want to learn how to do that. And in my description box below, I have a link to my Etsy shop critiques. I know many of you have asked me to view your shop and to give you some feedback. And so if you want to check out these critiques, I do privately, and check out my link down below. It will give you further information about what you can look forward to when I review your shop. So the tool that we're going to use today is Google Trends. This is absolutely free, and it is a great way to identify what product niches are actually selling right now, which ones are evergreen and which ones are actually in season, so you can focus on those things before the peak of the season. And so I'm going to jump into my computer, share with you exactly how to do this, because we want to find those seasonal products as well as those evergreen products and make sure that we are releasing products before the season so we can actually maximize our sales when the season hits its peak. So let's jump right in. All right, so this is Google Trends. Again, I'll make sure I leave this in my description box below if you want to check this out. Again, totally free to use, but it's a great way for you to identify, again, what things are seasonal, what things are evergreen. You want to be focused on both things in your shop, and you want to make sure that you are creating things before the peak of the season for you to drive the maximum amount of sales. So the first thing you want to do is actually put in a particular topic. And so I want to plug that in right here. And what it will do is that it will just bring up how popular is this search term on Google and what are the peak seasons, if it's something that is consistent in sales. Again, where is it, mainly searched up, what particular location in the United States, but just give you some feedback and some data to let you know what type of things are trending right now and what type of things are piquing the interest of others. Now, you can see here that we are only searching up one term, but our goal here is to search up multiple terms. Now, before I even plug things in here, I want to see this more than just 12 months. I want to see this over the past 5 years. The reason why I want to do that is because putting this over the past 5 years would give me a more wider view of how this particular term is doing on the Etsy search, and it actually gives me a greater indication of how this word is trending in different type of seasons and different type of peaks. So as you can see here, we have like this little mountain. The higher the number here, the more interest it is on Google search. That means people are interested in this product, and the lower the number, that means the least amount of interest people have on this product. So one of the things I automatically see here is that fishing shirt does have some type of trend or some type of peak or seasonality with this, and it's coming up on June. Again, I see this back in June 2018. There's a peak. One of the things I do is I go over to the peak and just confirm to make sure that in the next year it's also in June. I go over to the next year and see this peak, make sure it is in June as well, just to show some level of consistency. And again, I have June here, June 14th, and so on and so forth. So again, this is a great indication to let me know that if I am creating a fishing t-shirt for my t-shirt business, I need to make sure that I have t-shirts already in my shop before June comes, because June is the peak of the season. So one of the things I want to search up as well is teacher shirt. I know some of these things are popular to sell on Etsy, and I just want to get some indication of if this is evergreen or if this is seasonal. All right, so as you can see here, we have a larger number with fishing shirts. That means fishing shirts are more popular than teaching t-shirts or teacher shirts. We also know that the fishing shirt has trends like in May where we have peaks. However, with the teaching shirts, it's not as popular as fishing shirts. And I see that it has a more consistent track than what we see with fishing shirt. Now, we do see a little peak here in regards to teacher shirt, and we see this being in May. And this is more so at the end of the school year where people are buying, farewell shirts. They're buying, goodbye second grade, peace out fifth grade type of shirts, where a lot of people are having at the end of the year school parties. And so we can see this going up in nature. However, for the most part, it is a consistent niche that you can actually get consistent sales in, and it's something that we can focus on selling in our shop. Now, we're going to just plug some more things in here. Again, our goal is to identify the seasonality of certain products, and if something is evergreen or is it something is seasonal. We want to make sure that if it is seasonal, we get our products launched before the season to make sure that we are capitalizing on the search history of the past, so we can get that search history in our shop. And we want to identify things that are evergreen, so we can have those products in our shop that can bring us consistent sales every single month when there is not a peak season. So one of the things that we see to work well is dog shirt. So as you can see, dog shirts are searched up often in the past 5 years, and it has a more consistent track. First of all, it is searched a whole lot often than our shirts that we have for teacher shirt and fishing shirt. That means dog shirts are popular all the time. This shows me that it is in demand every single month of the year. Again, this is over the last 5 years. And as I can see with my graph here, it has an average score of 70. That means it is extremely in demand, being searched up all the time. And of course, this might be an overly saturated niche. However, there are places where I can actually serve the market in the micro niches with different type of dog shirts, different type of interest that's paired with dogs. There's so much you can do here with this particular search. However, you have to be strategic in how you can bring something new into the marketplace. But the reason why we do searches like this is to identify, okay, what type of things I need to have in my shop, what type of things are peaking right now that are seasonal, and things that are evergreen products. Again, if it is seasonal, I want to make sure that I focus on building up that product line so that I can be ahead of the peak of the season. And I also want to make sure I focus on those evergreen products to get consistent sales when there is not a major holiday or season. So what I'm going to do now is do a comparison between an evergreen product like teacher shirt and a seasonal product like fall shirt, so you can see the difference of how you need to prepare for products in your shop. So as you can see, fall shirt is in the red here, and it has its peaks. Again, it has deep valleys here where it's not being searched up often, but it does have its high peaks where it's getting tons of demand and traffic from Google search. So we know fall shirts have a peak around October. Again, we want to go over and make sure that it's consistent also in 2018. Again, we see it in September, October again. Go over to the peak here. We see it in September and October. And so we're seeing this trend. This is what I mean by identifying seasonal items, identifying trends, making sure you are creating products before we get to the peak. And so I know with this information, I need to make sure I have teacher shirts in my shop because that would give me consistent sales all throughout the year. However, I do want to capitalize on fall shirts before September and before October, so I can make sure that that product is in my shop before there is a demand for that product. Now, again, I can go into Etsy and identify what type of fall shirts have worked in the past and how I can do a different variation of that particular product now. But the goal here is that I want to identify seasonal items as well as evergreen products, work on the trends to make sure I'm creating products that are in demand before it hits its peak season, and how I can give that product to people who are going to search for that in the future. Now, here's a little pro tip, is that if you are creating this product or many products like this out of season, you may be selling that product out of season. Again, you want to make sure that you check Google Trends to make sure you are creating the product before the peak of the season so that that product can be ready for the demanding sales. For instance, I don't want to create a fall shirt in November, even though it's technically still fall, but it's on the down part of that season. That means people are coming out of that interest and going into something else. However, I want to get ahead of that game and actually create fall shirts around May, June, and July, so that when it hits September, as it's going up the peak, my products are already being laid out on Etsy and ready to meet that demand from other shoppers. So as you can see, using this Google Trends is a great way for you to identify what type of products you need to focus on before the peak of the season. Also, it helps you identify what products are evergreen, so you can focus on always having those products in your shop. These things are going to level out your sales to make sure you are getting consistent sales every single month. But you also want to capitalize on those seasons, because those can really drive your shop into high numbers in regards to sales. Now, if you want to focus on how to create different type of designs that you can actually sell on Etsy, make sure you check out this next video. I share with you exactly what I do to create my print on demand t-shirts that helps me get sales without necessarily creating things from scratch. And if you like content like this, then consider subscribing to my channel. I do stuff like this all the time where I teach you how to make passive income online by creating and selling your own products. So as always, my friends, my name is Jay, and I will see you in the next video.